Yeat has been creating music for about 10 years now, and we have been able to follow him throughout his journey, seeing all the different type of eras he's gone through. In today's video, I categorized the different Yeat eras based off the aesthetic and the albums into 7 different eras, and I'm going to be ranking them from my least favorite to my version of prime Yeat, starting with number 6. From 2018 to 2020 with the projects Deep Blue Strips, Wake Up Call, and Different Creature is what I call the beginning of Yeat era. Now before this time, Yeat was making music and would go by the name Lil Yeat, but I haven't heard any music from that time, so I won't talk on that. But in 2018, Lil Yeat would turn into just Yeat and start taking music much more seriously. The SoundCloud era was in its final stages, and Yeat had adapted to the sound. He was getting the hang of ad-libs and flows and had something going for him. Production wasn't the greatest, and Yeat didn't add anything special to his sound that could differentiate him from different underground rappers. He was able to land a music video on Elevator with his song Brink, which at the time is pretty good.
Alexander McQueen, put it on my jeans. Different color drink that's in my lean. Brooklyn Weeds, that bitch, what you need?
Elevator had a good reputation and had hella great artists on it, most notably XXXTentacion's hit single Look At Me. Yeat had a small following and was figuring out a way to perfect his sound, linking with some good artists and producers that could help him reach to the top. Also during this time, allegedly, Yeat was scamming, consuming, and selling drugs to make some money to help reach his goal. Doing hard drugs at the time would help keep him awake and work even harder, until he would eventually overdose on those drugs, which would end up taking his life. I'll return back to that, but for now, let's talk about number 5, Yeat's rebirth era. In early 2024, Yeat dropped 2093, which I have in a different era, but 2093 helped Yeat in many ways, but also hurt him. The album did great number-wise, but some of his fans didn't like his new style and wanted the old Rage sound back, which Yeat would plan on doing after receiving so much backlash. So he would move toward finishing his project Lifestyle, and the rollout for the album was pretty cool. Snippets were sounding crazy, Yeat was vandalizing Lambos and spray painting Lifestyle, and the singles he were dropping before were all insane. And I remember a crazy hurricane was coming to Florida at the time, which is where I happened to be living. Me and my dad decided to drive more north in Florida to avoid the storm, and that's when Yeat dropped the trailer for Lifestyle. And mid-drive, I pulled out my phone immediately to watch the vid. In the trailer, it showed the theme of burning the house down and some horse just chilling, but the best part was seeing the bell bust through the wall. That's when I knew the album was gonna be a banger, confirming Yeat was bringing back his old sound that we all love. But the reason it's so low in my ranking is not because of what happened before the album, it's what happened after. On October 18th, Yeat dropped Lifestyle, and for the first time listening to the album, I was disappointed. Even though it sounded great, you could tell Yeat wasn't going as hard as he normally does, giving us amazing songs but with repeating verses and mediocre features. First listen, I probably enjoyed only half of the songs on the album, but of course now that it's almost been 2 years after, a lot of the songs grew on me but still hasn't hit like the songs we know he's capable of making, which is why 5 is a good spot for it. Now for number 4, futuristic Yeat era. This was the first era I was able to be a part of. I started to really fuck with Yeat like a couple months after Afterlife dropped and saw that he was working on another project